sincerely pray too for our continued protection, safety, and wellness, O God. We pray all these in your most holy name.
Thank you,
Amen.
Princess. Right, this time let's have the Arabic prayer. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let's continue our discussion about up on the wall, flowers in the crypt, and the hyper palm that delight his sweetheart. Okay, we started a discussion about Luzon as the city or the region. Oh, okay, urban writing. And what are the important ideas we highlighted last time? Okay. Jairus, can you please read some of the important ideas that I asked you to highlight last time?
Um, Luzon is the seat of literacy in the
Okay.
country.
Seat of literacy, meaning to say the concentration of literacy in the Philippines is in Luzon. Okay, what else? Nathaniel, aside from being seat of literacy, hmm, Mara, okay,
Also highlighted the major regional languages such
oh,
as Tagalog, Ilocano, Kapampangan, Bicolano, and Pangasinan.
okay, thank you, Mara. What about Rex?
Um, Filipinos have now been using social media platforms not only for entertainment but also for social awareness.
Okay, thank you, Rance. Janelle, what about you? Mhm.
We have highlighted the weblog or the blog online
Okay.
novels, mobile phone, text journal.
Okay. And national literary canon. And last one, Jam.
Yung sa last sentence po, ma'am, our functional literacy as a people would bring its own social and economic rewards to the country.
Okay, thank you. Now, simultaneously, we also try to incorporate 21st century literature, not just from the Philippines, but also from the world through the hypertext poem entitled Daddy Like His with a Heart. Okay. Now, we also discussed the background of the first poem for the second quarter, and B.J. Patino, the poet, wrote the Up on the Wall to illustrate what uh, to illustrate through the father-son relationship what really transpired during the martial law days. Okay. Now the word apple in the poem was used. In Hiligaynon it means grandfather, and in Ilocano it means master or sir. Now the president, okay, apple, okay, the word apple in BJ Batini's poem as the boss or the father refers to President Ferdinand E. Marcos. Okay? Yeah. So we try to answer 4 questions about Apple on the Wall. Okay, let's recall. Now, how would you describe the persona and the persona's father? How would you describe the relationship? Would you say that the relationship with your father is similar or different? Explain. We said last time that the persona or the speaker in the poem is kind of kind of frightened or scared of his father. And the persona's father, being a military man, is okay, a picture of a snappy military officer, a strict one, an authoritative father. And most of you answered last time that no, our fathers are not like that strict, that authoritative father as illustrated in BJ Patino's poem. Okay. Ah, okay. Thank you. Okay, let's sige. Let's read. Angela, can you please read the poem? Pakibasa mo yung tula. Angelo. Lahat yan, 1 to 12. Nakikita mo, Angelo? Okay, sige, go. Okay, thank you, Angelo. Now, the first slide talks about the father, and the narrator of this poem is the son. One time, the son tried to sneak in his father's office. Okay. There he saw a photo of his father's boss. Okay. And when when he saw that photo of his father's boss, we could say that the lines 1 to 7, through the eyes of the child, his father is a loyal and a dedicated military officer. Why loyal or dedicated or committed? Even if he's already off from his work, he would bring his paper bricks to his house. He's still wearing his green uniform and the colored breastplates. He would go straight to his office and work. Okay? And how did the son describe his father? Snappy. And his loyalty and dedication to his work is manifested through a photo of his boss, which is hanged on the wall. And that apple actually, in reality, he refers to President Ferdinand P. Marcos. Now, during the martial law days, the most important professional during those days was the military personnel, police officers. Okay, among all the professionals, sila yung pinaka-importante ng martial law days. Okay, now let's have line number 13 up to 24. Carl Espera, can you please read?
Father snapped at me once, sneaking around his office at home, looking at the stuff on his wall, handguns, lakes, a sword, medals, a rifle, told me that was no place for a boy. Only men, when he didn't really have to tell me because, that photo of Papa on the wall was already looking at me while I moved around. His eyes following me like he was that scary Jesus in the hallway, saying, I know what you're doing.
Okay, thank you, Carl. All right. Okay, now this slide illustrated how the son was caught by his father sneaking in his office. Okay, so suddenly the father snapped at him. Okay, he was caught looking at the stuff of his father, and what did he see? Okay, on his father's wall were handguns, flags, a sword, medals, rifle. Okay. The child was so frightened because he was caught by his father sneaking in his office and looking at his stuff. And the father told the son that his office is not the place for boys, but for men. Okay? Why do you think the father told the son that his office is for men, not for boys? What could be the reason of the father for telling his son, this place is not for you, boy, this is for men? Okay, what do the handguns, the flags, sword, medals, and rifle represent? Gwyneth? Cortez? Hi, hello. Why do you think the father told the son, this place is not for you, boy, this is a place for men?
The father is telling the son that he is not ready to face the societal challenges of the world, as there are a lot of scary risks involved in growing up. And I think it's a warning or a forbearing of the father on his part.
Okay, very well said. Vinette said that since he's still a kid, he's not yet ready to face the society. And for the father, in the handguns, the flags, the sword, the medals, and the rifle are just manifestations of his achievements as a military officer. And he got all those achievements through his hard work, through his dedication, through his commitment in his work. Okay? Kumbaga sa Filipino, dapat matibay ang loob mo. Okay? Bago ka humarap sa lipunan. Okay? Yes. Okay. Sige ko. Now, okay? Now, what? Lines 18 to 24, the son said to himself that the father, there's no need for his father to remind him. Okay. And what's the reason of the son? Okay. Because the photo of Alpha on the wall was already looking at me while I moved around, his eyes following me like he was that scary Jesus in the hallway saying, I know what you're doing. So instead of the father's intention was to scare or to frighten his son, and yet without him telling his kid, the kid was already frightened or scared because he always see that the apple on the wall, the picture of President Ferdinand P. Marcos, which hangs on their wall or on his father's office. Whenever he sneaks around his father's office, the picture tends to look at him while he's playing around his father's office. In fact, that picture or that up on the wall was compared to a scary Jesus in the hallway, saying, I know what you're doing. Okay. How come DJ Patino, the poet, compared Apo on the wall to Jesus in the hallway? How come DJ Patino, the poet, described Jesus as a scary Jesus in the hallway? Let's compare that apple on the wall, the scary Jesus, and the Father. Ano yung similarities nilang tatlo? Okay. Talagang nagpapatakot doon sa bata. John Clarence. How come the son said, no need to remind me, I'm already scared. Okay. The up on the wall is like the scary Jesus in our hallway. And I am also scared of you. Why do you think the son is scared of the Father and the picture of Alpha and Jesus? Caitlin.
Yung, ma'am.
Bakit sabi nung bata, no need to remind me. Okay, takot na talaga ako sa'yo, na tatay ko, doon sa picture ni Apo, at saka doon kay Jesus Christ na nasa hallway sa image ni Jesus Christ. Okay, why do you think that the kid is very scared of the three? May problema sa audio si Kathleen. Okay, sige, let's ask.
Hello.
Ayan, okay ka. Okay na.
Like the three of them, ma'am, are looking at the sun.
Okay, as if he was he was under surveillance. Diba? Si tatay niya nasa military. Okay, yung pictures naman ng dalawa, would look at him and okay, that scary Jesus in the hallway would remind him that you have to be good, diba? Okay, while up on the wall, in the case of that picture, always remind the father and the son that they must be loyal and committed and dedicated to the government, his work per se. Okay, so that's apple on the wall. All right, let's try to answer the questions. Yeah, since we have answered the first question, let's answer the second. And how would you describe your relationship with your father? Is it similar or different? Okay, sige. Ahmad. Mhm. Are you scared also of your dad, Ahmad?
Personally po, yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay, why? Can you explain?
There's always two sides of a person.
Okay, go.
Yung isang side po, yung nagdidisiplina sa akin, nakatakot. Tapos yung isang side po, yung nagvo-value sa atin. Tapos yun yung hindi ko po kinakatakot.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmad, for your insight. Now, what about Jeric? So for Ahmad, it's a yes and a no. I am afraid of my dad. Okay, if I don't commit mistakes, he has all the right to discipline me. At the same time, he also loves me. That's according to Ahmad. What about you, Jeric? How would you describe your relationship with your dad? Okay?
Okay po, ma'am.
Okay, paano mo ilalarawan yung relasyon ninyo mag-ama? Similar ba siya o different doon sa Apo on the Wall?
Medyo different po yung relationship po dun sa ng father namin dun sa ano po. Sa binasa po.
Okay. So you're close with your dad?
Ano po, ma'am?
Close ba kayo ng tatay mo?
Okay lang. Opo. Close po kami. Pero medyo ano rin. Distant sometimes.
Alright. Siyempre, the respect is still there.
Opo.
Okay. Now, what about you, Hans?
Me?
Okay, how would you describe your relationship with your dad?
Unsure. Unsure.
Unsure?
Yeah.
Why?
Since, yung parang he's usually in his job since young pala ako, usually alone ako sa bahay. Kaya medyo introvert ako.
Okay, sige. So we respect your insight, Hans. Now, what about the girls? Let's ask the girls. Okay. Jillian, in your case.
Siguro po different kasi po si Daddy pero close pa rin po kami. Like, pwede po ako mag-open up sa kanya or parang ano po kami, yung relationship po namin is parang best friends pero meron pa rin pong limitations and respect kasi he's still my father. Ganun.
Okay. So you have an open communication with your dad. Okay. Thank you. What about okay. Rosette. Okay.
Hello po.
Hi, Rosette.
Yan.
Yung tatay ko naman po, syempre, he appears strict pero bilang po siya showy. Pero mahal niya po kami. Ramdam ko naman po yun.
Okay, sige, Rosel. Alright, thank you. Now, let's have question number 2. Ayan. How would you describe the relationship between the persona's father and Apo? What does this tell us about the father's perspective about martial law? Okay, Karel Fidelis. The Apo there is President Ferdinand P. Marcos, and the father is a military officer.
Kung relationship po nung father and ni President Ferdinand Marcos, siguro po they're more on formal kind of relationship since they're both on high position in the society. And about the perspective of the father about the martial law, siguro po, since isa po siyang military officer, he's doing his job po about being an officer.
Okay, so the father is loyal and dedicated to the Apo or to President Ferdinand P. Marcos. All right? Okay. Next. Now, what about number 3? Ayan. Okay. What kind of values does the persona's father want to teach his child, specifically about what it means to be a man? And do you agree with these values? The father is kind of strict. Okay, what do you think the father would? Yes, Marga, go.
Ma'am, para po sa akin, ang pinapakita po ng tatay is dapat po, pag lalaki ka, dapat strong, dapat po matatag, dapat po masculine ka po talaga and everything. Pero po, para po sa akin, I don't agree much about it po. Kasi po, it could look like a toxic masculinity. And some men po, gusto po nila, syempre po mahihirapan pong express po mas ng feelings po and magkakaroon lang po ng problem about their emotions and everything if they keep on trying to stick with masculinity and the typical stereotypes po. So I don't agree with how some people press masculinity on their children po, especially their sons, because it can lead to a big emotional problem po. Yun lang po.
Okay, very well said, Marka. Okay, and I like the term toxic masculinity. Okay? Hindi lahat ay pwedeng idaan sa physical na lakas. Okay, now let's ask the boys. Yeah, Emmanuel. What kind of values does the person's father want to teach his child, specifically about what it means to be a man? Do you agree with these values? Why or why not? Sabi ni Marka, no, enough to toxic masculinity. What about you, Emmanuel? Okay bang audio ni Eman? May problema sa audio? Di mo marinig, mahina ko. Okay, Emmanuel, I would like you to answer number 3. Okay, what kind of values does the person's father want to teach his child, specifically about what it means to be a man? Do you agree with these values? Why or why not?
Yes po. Kasi gusto niya po na yung anak niya is maging matatag po at gusto niya rin po na yung anak niya na makayanan yung mga challenges na harapin niya po sa future po.
Okay. And do you agree with these values? Do you papayag ka ba o do you sasang-ayon ka ba na dapat ang isang lalaki o isang tao matatag at kakayanin lahat ng pagsubok sa buhay?
Para sa akin po, opo. Kasi po parang nagsisilbi rin po yung foundation para po sa sarili natin.
Okay, thank you, Eman. Now, what about you, Joseph? Panuela? If for Marga, no, that's a sign of a toxic masculinity. For Eman, yes, somehow a man or a person must have foundation of strength, so that he'll be able to surpass obstacles in life. Now, what about you, Joseph Panuela? Yes, Joseph, go.
What kind of word? Parang parehas lang po sa sinabi kanina ni Gwen. Gusto niya lang po maging ready yung anak niya, maging respectful. Ayun nga, maging matatag. Same answer lang po.
Okay, so thank you, Joseph. Now let's have number 4. Yeah. What do the Father, Apo, and the Scary Jesus have in common?
What can you say about the symbol of this song?
Okay, actually this one we were able to answer, right? Okay, what was our answer a while ago for number 4? Okay, let's see if we can still remember.
So, of course,
Kyle, David.
You are going to attach.
So what do the Father, Apo, and the Scary Jesus have in common?
Apo, di ba po Ferdinand Marcos po?
Yes.
Apo is like Jesus po kasi parehas po silang alam po yung lahat dahil sa power po nila, ma'am.
Okay.
Ayun po. Kasi powerful po sila.
Powerful. They're influential.
Apo. Kaya alam po nila lahat ng tungkol po sa
So same with the Father, who's influential. Apo is influential and Jesus at the same time. Okay? They are looking at you. These 3 have been in the lookout. Okay? Alright. Okay, now what have you realized about Apo on the wall? Okay, especially the father-son relationship. What's our takeaway today? Okay, what have you learned from this one?
Did you get me?
Sige, Mara, what have you realized?
For me po, one thing na I realize po siguro is yung respect po to the ones higher than you, and yung mapakita niyo po yung obedience niyo po sa kanila.
Okay, thank you, Mara. And what about you, Villamor? Okay. Okay, what have you learned from Apo on the wall?
Yung po ma'am, natutunan ko po ngayon is yung yung mga opinions po kasi ng iba nagkahalo-halo, kaya medyo confused din po ako sa mga sagot. Tapos yung ibang parts po hindi ko marinig. So yung take away ko po is iba-iba po yung way po ng pagpapalaki sa anak, lalo na po sa mga depende po kasi sa type ng tao. Meron po yung katulad nila MJ na hindi po agree, tapos meron din po yung katulad nila Eman na agree naman po doon. Pero para sa akin po, yung main lesson po dito is iba-iba po yung pagpapalaki, yung tingin po natin sa kay Apo, dun po sa tatay, and sa Scary Jesus, iba-iba po. Hindi ko po kasi talaga naintindihan.
Sige. Sorry ha, kung mahina kasi tatlong pictures yung nandito. Okay? So, I got your point, More. Okay? The Alpha on the Wall is basically about martial law. Okay? But our focus is not on martial law. Okay? Our focus is not on how President Ferdinand E. Marcos implemented martial law. Okay? Our focus is the father-son relationship. I agree with you that parenting style differs. Okay? There are some parents, okay, there are some fathers who are authoritative, others are lenient. Okay, what is important is that you have an open communication with your father. Okay, not all of you can talk to your father about anything under the sun, di ba? Okay? Hindi lahat tayo nakakapag-usap or nakakapagsabi ng sama ng loob sa ating tatay. What is important is that may respeto tayo at saka we will grow or you will grow as a very strong person. Okay? Now we will compare the content of Alpha on the Wall with Flowers in the Crypt on page 34 up to so basahin ninyo ito during your independent study page 34 up to page 38. Now this one has something to do with the man of the house. Tungkol naman to sa lolo. Okay? Tapos yung hyper poetry will compare the three. Okay, how come this hyper poetry, okay, is not yet, or how come most of the 21st century literary pieces or literary genres are not yet been recognized by the Philippines and the entire world as, okay, good medium, parang good literature. Bakit yung 21st century literary genres, ang sabi ng mga canonical authors from the Philippines and around the world, medyo below standards siya. Okay? Naalala ko si Villamor, masakit na yung ulo nung binasa natin yung hyper poetry. Okay, so we'll discuss bakit ganon. Okay? So I do hope, even if I speak mahina, hope you learn something from today's discussion. Okay? Bye everyone. Love your father. Okay?
Bye, Mom.